Good morning, Nerdfighteria! It's Monday, July 15th. So, when this Secret Siblings project was announced, one of the ideas that our lovely, fantastic Finn threw out there was a How to Discord video to try and help explain Discord to newbies, or just some of the tips and tricks that not everyone learns through their regular use of Discord, and do it in a more visual way than we can do with the explaining commands with one of our friendly bots, Dave. To any regulars that are watching from Nerdfighteria as part of the Secret Siblings project, leave some comments down below with your best tips and tricks that I probably missed because I don't know everything about Discord, and I don't think any single one of us does. Anyways, jumping into things, to start off with, there are 3 different ways of accessing Discord. There's your internet browser, there's a desktop application that you could install on PCs, on Mac, and in Linux, and there's an app on your phone. Most of the folks around Nerdfighteria are using either the desktop version on their computer or the mobile app because the browser one has a little bit of funny stuff, but a couple people do use the internet browser version as well. I'm going to focus on the desktop version because that's what I primarily use, and make a couple mentions about mobile because I do use that sometimes as well. Since you're already watching this video, I'm going to make the assumption that you've already got your Discord account set up and figured out which way you're going to be accessing Discord and have that set up, and start with how to log into a server. If you don't have your Discord account set up or installed yet, then Discord has some information on how to do that, and that's down in the doobly-doo below. So, once you've got all that set up, you're going to need a join link, which looks like this. Once you have this link, you can click on the plus sign in the bottom left-hand side of your screen, click join, paste the link in. Assuming that the server doesn't have any other restrictions, you'll have joined the server and should see the server logo in the far left column and have gone to the server's welcome screen. And quick note, some servers require a phone number or an email be attached to your account for security purposes to verify that you are not a bot. Nerdfighteria only requires an email, but some will require phone numbers. None of that information is shared with the server. Now, oftentimes, the server's welcome page will be the rules. Some servers will have wait periods where you can't type any messages, so you have to read the rules, or where you are in what's called an airlock and you can't interact with the rest of the server and you have to type in a command to the bot to gain access to the rest of the server. Nerdfighteria is not currently using any of those features, but when we have large influxes of people, like when the Life's Library Discord launched, we do use those to cut down on bots and spam. Even if a server doesn't have those cooldown or airlock features enabled though, you should always, always, always read the rules before you start interacting. Now that you've joined the server and read its rules, we can start interacting. Most Discord servers are sorted into channels, which are on the left. For Nerdfighteria, we have a few general spaces and then a ton of topic-specific spaces, ranging from just cool stuff that you've seen, science and engineering stuff, cooking, creative endeavors, and we also have fandom-specific spoiler spaces so you can freak out about the latest Marvel movie without spoiling it for fellow nerdfighters who haven't seen it yet. As nerdfighters, we really enjoy our puns, so some of the channel names can be a little confusing, but to clarify them, we pretty much always have a description of the channel, and the way to find that is if you go to the channel, then in the top of the screen there will be a little bit of text next to the channel name. That's the channel description, and it tells you what's supposed to go in that channel in usually a sentence, sometimes 2 or 3. To find the description on mobile, you're going to swipe out from the right side of your screen into the middle, and it'll be right at the top there. Over on the right, there's a list of users online. Usually, the admins and the mods are at the top of the list, and on Nerdfighteria, they're followed directly by the bots. From there, the order will vary from server to server. Some servers have a lot more roles for sorting users. If you want to take a look at your roles, you can click on your name either in the list of online users by scrolling to it, or if you've sent messages recently, just by clicking on your username in Nerdfighteria. Everyone has the Nerdfighter role, which allows you to access the server when we use the airlock feature, so you don't get locked out if we suddenly have an influx of users and need to enable that. Nerdfighter role also enables interacting with some of the bots due to some weirdness with bot permissions. I don't know how they work. One of the cool things about Nerdfighteria is that you get to choose your own color role instead of having that assigned to you for something else, and you get to have your pronoun role set so you can tell us what sort of pronouns you prefer to use. So those are all mostly for fun, but there is a practical element to that with the pronoun roles as well to make everyone more comfortable. The next category of roles is the opt-in roles for certain channels on Nerdfighteria. We have two channels that some users prefer to avoid. Those are political and world suck, and those are for topics that are either politics or world sucky, and not everyone wants to see those all the time, so you can opt in and always are able to opt out of them as well if things get too heavy and you want to avoid those channels. Last category of role, though, getting back to a lighter note, is the pingable roles, which are open mic and LFG, which is short for looking for games, and those roles allow other users to ping everyone in that list, schedule an open mic night, or play some games together, which is really cool that we can do that. Now, I've mentioned the friendly bots a couple of times, but I haven't really given them much explanation, and we finally reached that point in the video where I get to explain them. So it's time to get to know Nerdfighteria's friendly bots. Nerdfighteria has 4 bots: Dave, Tatsu, Snape, and Fredboat, all of which serve useful and fun functions. For each, we've sorted them into Hogwarts houses, given them a color to match their house, and a pronoun role. They're robots, it's just for fun. They don't actually have awareness or gender identities, it's all for fun. Anyways, to interact with each bot, there are commands, which are preceded by a special character prefix that tells the bot to read the rest of the message for the command. Some of the bots on Nerdfighteria are bots that you can buy that professionals have developed and are in use on a lot of servers, so while the prefix may vary from server to server, a lot of these commands, especially for bots like Tatsu, will be in usage on other servers, so the general how to use the bot's the same. In my opinion, Dave's the most practical bot since he helps the mods with some of their moderating job and the server management stuff, because he also has some really fun custom explainer commands. To interact with Dave, comments are preceded with a question mark. Some of the most useful commands with Dave are commands to explain optional roles, markdown, and levels. Dave can also yell with varying degrees of excitement. This is by no means an exhaustive list of Dave's commands, so you may see some longtime users using a few other fun commands. The next spot up is Tatsumaki, or Tatsu for short. Tatsu has a lot more of the just for fun functions, including levels, fishing, and pets. You gain levels and Tatsu credits just by hanging around and sending messages, chatting, even interacting with the bots, and it adds up really fast. While I personally haven't used my credits, Tatsu also lets you do virtual fishing and take care of a virtual pet called a Tatsugachi, and there's a lot more on how to fish and buy a Tatsugachi in the pins and bot stuff. And the prefix for Tatsu is an exclamation point, so you start any messages to interact with Tatsu with an exclamation point. Now, I already said Dave is the most useful bot, but the next bot up is my favorite bot. Next bot is Snape, made by one of our nerd fighters at Allport with 2 A's. Snape has a random chance of responding to standard swears, just for laughs, and to remind people to not get too swear-happy, since we try to keep the server PG-13, so you can drop a couple F-bombs here and there, but don't go using them every single message, or using like 20 of them in a message. If you really want to get a reaction out of Snape, though, you can try dropping some of the special wizard swears from the PotterPuppetPals video. Please don't snake bait in the main channels, though, so if you really want to get a reaction out of Snape, do it in bot stuff and link to the PotterPuppetPals in the doobly-doo below. The last of our 4 bots is Fredboat. Fred plays music in the Fredboat Music voice channel. Commands for Fredboat only work in the Fredboat Music commands channel, so you won't be able to interact with Fredboat outside of that channel, and Fredboat's command prefix is 2 semicolons. The Fredboat voice channel only allows you to listen so that everyone can hear and enjoy the music. If you want to be able to talk over the music, then Dave takes over in the Chatty Music channel and the associated Chatty Music commands channel, so then users can adjust the volume and talk while listening to music, and it just depends on who's wanting to listen to music and whether they want to chat or not, which channel gets used. Both do the same job for those channels. For both channels, the directions for how to set up a playlist are in the pins, and you can also always message about the music in the command channels, so whether you're on the Fredboat Music channel or the Chatty playing music channel, you can always just send standard chat messages on your keyboard. Now that we're getting into the voice channels, if you don't really want to listen to music and you just want to chat with the Nerdfighters, that would be the voice chat and chill voice channel for that. And if you want to participate but can't or just don't want to talk, you can listen and send messages in the voice chat and chill chat associated message channel. You can mute yourself or deafen yourself, which is to stop listening to the chat. These little buttons right next to your username under the list of channels. For more organized events like open mic nights, ping the @openmic role in the open mic planning channel to get people participating to set up a time, set up a theme. It could be talking about music or playing music, reading stories. Recently there was a virtual book club for a book that doesn't exist, which was a really cool idea. Don't feel like you have to wait for an open mic night though to get in the voice chats. We regularly just have impromptu chats or music sharing sessions, and it's just whoever's around and wants to do it comes and hangs out. At this point, we've spent a lot of time talking about the ins and outs of Discord and the Nerdfighteria specific features, but what if you just want to make your messages look prettier? Add italics, bold, underline. Good news! Discord has a custom version of Markdown, so if you're a Redditor, it'll be very similar to that. From italics and bold to code blocks and spoilers, there's tons of ways to add Markdown, to add emphasis to your message, block out spoilers, or potentially triggering topics. If you ever need a reminder, on the Nerdfighteria server, you can use the Dave command !Markdown, and Dave will give you all the fun stuff on how to use Markdown in Discord. If you're ever on a different server and you want to check on the Markdown, feel free to head over to the Bot Stuff channel on Nerdfighteria to use the Markdown command, and then you can go back to your other server and make your fancy messages and impress everyone with how much Markdown you know. So, with wrapping up Markdown, we've pretty much covered all the basics of Discord, and now I'm going to get into ways to make Discord a little bit cozier to your personal tastes. Firstly, you can mute specific channels by right-clicking on the channel name and checking the mute box. You can also do this from the drop-down menu next to the server's name above the list of channels. From that same menu, you can also customize your notification settings, turning pings on or off. You can say no pings at all. You can say ping me for every single message, which I do not recommend, but you do you. And you can also change your nickname without changing your username. On the note of pings, we do recommend turning on pings for announcements. And announcements range from just cool new server projects, we're looking for mods, sometimes we'll have like Hank's doing an AMA on Reddit, anything like that that is important and of interest to the server. But our mods are really nice and they don't ping the @everyone, and they don't put announcements up too regularly so that they're actually announcements and not just random stuff. And other side note, not every server lets you change your nickname. Some of them need you keep your nickname the same, like if there's a game ongoing so that you don't confuse people with who you are. But Nerdfighteria allows you to change your nickname. Don't abuse this power. Use it for good. Now, these settings were server specific. If you click the gear next to your username underneath the channel list, it'll bring up Discord-wide settings. I'm not going to go through every single setting and leave that for you to explore, but I'm going to go through the most common ones and some suggestions that I've found through my experience. First up, you can edit your username and profile picture from the My Account tab, which is the default place settings will open up to. Discord also offers privacy settings, which lets you adjust who can send you direct messages and friend requests. As we move on to settings that are related to stuff that I was talking about earlier, I'm going to jump around a little bit because I don't need to cover every single tab. First of all, you can fine-tune your audio settings for both your microphone and your speakers of choice in the voice and video tab, as well as your webcam settings if you're using video chat in direct message. Notifications will let you adjust your Discord-wide notification settings, so if you don't want to get pings anywhere at all, you can turn it off there. And it's a nice complement to the channel and server settings that we discussed just earlier. You can adjust how Discord looks, including the font size, the overall scaling of everything. If you have really bad eyesight like I do, like I can not focus on my hand without my glasses, and whether you're using dark, light, or colorblind mode, all of that's in the Appearance tab. And if you want to control how links and spoilers display, that's in Text and Images. So if you want to live vicariously and not hide any spoilers, you can turn off spoilers if you want, although especially Nerdfighteria will use that even in WorldSuck for content warnings so that people have to actually ask themselves, do I want to see this? Will it be bad for my mental health or not if I read this? And for those of you that are gamers, you've probably already heard of Discord as a really good way to do chat in-game. Desktop Discord can integrate with your gaming experience, so you can chat without leaving your games. Overlay will allow you to turn the Discord overlay on, and game activity will let you control on a per-game basis which games have the overlay and which won't, and between those two tabs you can also adjust the little pop-up box, which corner it appears in, how big it is, and all that. This is by no means an exhaustive explanation of everything on Discord, but it's a really good primer that covers most of the functions of Discord and Nerdfighteria, and I really hope this helps. As always, please feel free to ask any of the mods or other veteran users for help. We've all been new at some point in time and asked some really stupid questions sometimes, so we're all more than happy to help you get a handle on how to use Discord and interact with the bots on Nerdfighteria. And finally, don't forget to be awesome. Nerdfighteria has 4 bots. That's 3.